As Cassie said, my name is Richard. I run a YouTube channel called ShredderFUW, and over the past few months, I've been running a couple of charity campaigns to help raise money for the cause and the fight against COVID-19. I've mainly been doing the campaigns for the Westchester Medical Center, trying to raise funds for that, and it's been pretty successful. I'm really happy with how my campaigns turned out. That's just a little brief overview of what I've been doing.
Richard, could you go into more detail about how you did your campaigns and how you, what you have done so far to fight the COVID-19 pandemic?
Of course. So the first thing that I did was I made a parody of John Lennon's song Imagine, which is a fantastic song. I really like it. And so I basically took that, I rewrote the lyrics, and I made a music video, and I published that along with, as basically the start of a fundraiser. And at the end of that video, I redirected people who watched the parody to a donation website where I started collecting donations from people who wanted to support the COVID-19 cause. So that website went up along with that that first parody, and we started collecting money with that. But afterwards, as a second kind of push, I decided to start a fitness campaign. I've seen people do it on YouTube, and I was really excited to try something new. So because I'm also really into fitness and I need to work out anyway, I decided I would kind of put that into a charity campaign. Basically, the idea was to get to 3,000 push-ups and 3,000 squats in 30 days, and I would do 100 squats, 100 push-ups every single day. And people can donate money. They would pledge money based on every single day of workout. So I set that up. I set up a Patreon, and I got a bunch of patrons to support me. I live streamed the workout every single day. By the end of 30 days, we raised our money, and I took the money from Patreon and redirected over to the original website from the parody video. So that's how that went.
Other than those volunteering activities, what other things have you been doing since high school, or just volunteering in general?
I would say one of the main things that I believe about volunteering is just you have to enjoy what you're volunteering for. I don't I really love to volunteer in areas that I feel like I have passion and interest in. So a lot of my volunteering has been for helping out in middle school musicals, because I'm part of the high school musical, so I love watching the younger kids gain a passion for performing arts. So I help with lights and I watch their shows, and it's really, really great. So that's one thing that I've been doing. Another thing is I just really love performing. I've sang at multiple community events. Yeah, and I mean, I do that just because I love to perform, so I might as well do something with it. And that's what I've always believed.
What are some key lessons, would you say, that you've learned through your volunteer experience or just hosting these fundraisers?
I would say, again, back to what I was saying is you have to, it's so much easier and it's so much more rewarding to do volunteer work when you really enjoy what you're doing, and you really have to believe what you're fighting for. And how do I want to say this? So another key lesson that I learned is timing is really, really important for launching charity campaigns, because it is while you're obviously hoping for people to donate, if they've donated to a lot of different organizations and campaigns already, they might not have any left over for yours. So I would definitely say timing was a really big part of launching my campaigns, and I really wanted to get that initial parody video out really early. And then the fitness campaign, obviously, that came pretty soon after the parody music video. So I wanted to get all that out as soon as I could, because timing was of the essence, and the sooner we could get those funds over to the Westchester Medical Center, the better.
Out of all your fundraisers that you've done, are they all successes, and how did you encourage more people to donate, as you mentioned before?
I would say not. I would definitely say not all of my charity campaigns have been in the past have been as successful as I had hoped. I would definitely say this year's campaigns for COVID were a lot more successful than I had anticipated, so I am really happy with them. But previously, I had run a campaign for, I think it was it was the Humane Center or the Humane Society, and I was doing that when I was selling my first my first ever merchandise for my channel. So I was selling my brand basically on like t-shirts and stuff like that and hoodies. So I really wanted to take the profit that I made from that and donate it towards the Humane Society. So it was like kind of like a charity merch campaign. So when I first did that, if I was really being honest with myself, I really expected people to buy more merch than we actually sold. And so like the amount of money we raised was a little like it wasn't as much as I had hoped, but at the end of the day, like I was glad people got to buy the merch. I did see a lot of some of my friends even bought them, and they sent me pictures with them. So it was really, really cool. Even though it technically wasn't as big of a success as I'd hoped, it was still really cool to see like people participate in it. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, is that you can't judge the success of a charity campaign by like the amount of money you raise, or like, I don't know, the amount of people that, donate or whatever. Like, it's just that like you just have to respect like the process and the effort. And I feel like that's the most important thing for me when I was doing both that campaign and the campaigns that I did this year. And of course, raising a lot of money is a really great side product. But I think that's the fundamental part of it.
How would you say you like balance your academics and your volunteering throughout high school?
Well, a lot of my volunteering has been on events over the weekend, especially if they're performances. I generally I don't have too much time in the week, obviously being in high school. So a lot of weekends I try to, if there are performances available, then yeah, I'd love to go and perform. But as for musicals, I just give up a few days, a few afternoons to go help out with the musical. I mean, it doesn't, the musical obviously only runs for a certain amount of time, and I help out with the performances. So that hasn't been too bad. And this year, while I was running these campaigns, obviously I've been studying from home. So I mean, it's been manageable, I would say. I mean, I wake up, I do the workout for the workout campaign, and the music video I kind of just made whenever I had free time. There wasn't like a really strict time schedule, so I kind of just weave around that with like doing schoolwork and stuff. So it hasn't been too much of a problem.
Are there any like skills such as interpersonal, like public speaking, etc., that you think you improved through like organizing these fundraisers and fundraising and just volunteering in general?
Oh yeah, I mean you're trying to get people to donate to a cause that you're providing them, right? So like you have to, yeah, I mean obviously like you have to present it in a way that inspires people to really want to donate, to help out. And I think that's a challenge. I think the first time that I did a charity campaign, again with the merch, I didn't maybe stress that point enough, or I didn't focus on presenting that enough. So maybe that's also why it wasn't as successful. But yeah, I definitely learned how to kind of describe the charity cause in a way that really makes people want to support you, and specifically your charity campaign, because a lot of people were doing charity campaigns at the same time. So you kind of want to make it seem like yours is unique and you want them to support yours specifically. And I think that part I did pretty well this year, because I kind of wanted to do things differently. Like a lot of people just had like fundraisers set up, but I made like creative stuff alongside my my campaign. So I think that was something that I really learned from doing that this year.
Why do you think volunteering is like such an important thing for students of all ages? And to like younger students, what would you say to encourage them to do more of it? And like AYLUS is a nonprofit, like a student-run organization for volunteering. So how would you encourage students to continue this path?
Volunteering, I would say, is like I would say the highlight of volunteering is definitely seeing the effects of your work. And I think that like seeing the kind of impact that you've had, and like seeing how you made a difference is so rewarding, and it makes all of the time you put in worth it. For like young people going into volunteering, a lot of times when we're young, we think about the reward of going through an experience, right? We're always like, oh, what do I get out of this? Or what like maybe some people, some kids when they're younger, they don't think of volunteering as like a worthwhile experience, because maybe they don't think they get too much out of it for themselves. And I think as I was guilty of that as well. But as I've grown older, it's so, like I said, it's so rewarding to see people. Like, I think one of the biggest things about it is that you want to try to do it with other people. Like I did a lot of the volunteering work with my YouTube community. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to raise so much money without, you know, people donating and people supporting, people watching the live streams of my workout, people being there every day saying like, good job, keep on going, like this is fantastic, and people working out at home with me. Like it was really, really fantastic to be part of a community effort. I think that's the biggest reward of volunteering. It may not be something that's tangible, like a toy or a Lego set, or like money, but like it is that feeling is the reward. And so to everyone who's going into volunteering, you have to trust that sense of community, that sense of working together towards a common thing is rewarding enough in itself.
I want to open up this time for everyone to ask questions right now. So if anyone wants to ask questions, this is your time, and you may also type it in the chat and we'll just answer them.
So from Amy, how many patrons did you get on average per online campaign? All right. So yeah, a lot of, I mean, the patrons were for the fitness campaign. So that was, but it was cool. I got a lot of people. I don't have the exact number pulled up, but there was I think it was raising about, oh man, I really have to check. But yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of people who subscribed to the Patreon as a patron, and a lot of people also just decided to donate through YouTube's donation system, through the YouTube Super Chat, which was also fine. Maybe they didn't like especially use Patreon, so a lot of people donated directly through YouTube, which obviously goes to me, and I redirect it over. So patrons on average, I I don't have the exact number because I just don't have it pulled up. But how much can you expect each patron to donate? That was something that I really stressed, is that it doesn't really it didn't really matter to me how much each person was donating, like a $1 donation or $5 donation or like $10 donation. Some people who really wanted to support the fitness campaign, for example, could pledge up to like $10 per day, while some people were pledging $2 a day, which is fine. And I mean, like, everything counts. So that's something that I really stressed. So I didn't expect a certain amount. I was just looking for honestly just more people to donate. Really, I was looking for more donors rather than more like money donated per person.
This is just out of curiosity. Why did you choose the Westchester Medical Center specifically for your fundraisers and stuff?
I
And
would
like,
say
yeah,
no,
you can
continue.
go.
I would say it's just it's part of it's like the main thing in Westchester. It's the main hospital. It's the main like I guess the main front for the fight against COVID in our community, in my local community. So I would say it's, while obviously I could donate like towards like a hospital in like California, or I mean it'd all be again fighting COVID. I just think donating towards what the Westchester Medical Center specifically was back to being rewarding, a rewarding experience, because I know I'm helping the people in my community, the people that I see every day walking around. So I think that was more powerful for me.
All right, thank you.
Okay, did you receive any negative or hostile comments from online campaign? How do you handle those unfriendly responses? Yeah, actually, thank you for asking that. Because there were some things. I actually discussed this on CBS when they did an interview with me. So they were doing a story about like facing online hate for Asian Americans who were in the COVID time. And I mentioned that I received a comment on one of my live streams where it was like, good thing you're doing this instead of going out and spreading new diseases, which is, it was just like it was so like random and out of the blue that I was really taken aback. But like that kind of stuff, like you have to realize that being online, people are going to say that just because there's no consequence for that. Right? Like if you say something like that to a person face to face, you'll see their reaction, you'll see how your words affected them, and you'll see the consequences of your actions. But when you do it online, you kind of just do it. There's no real bounce back at you. So there's no consequence. And I've been dealing with that a lot just throughout the course of me doing YouTube. Especially in my earlier days, a lot of people will hate on you for what you're doing. You can't please everyone. That's just something that I've accepted. And honestly, I think the best way is just to kind of not give them the attention that they want. Because at the end of the day, those people they're searching for attention. They want to ignite a response out of people. And yeah, I mean, like sometimes they might not even agree with what they're saying themselves. They just want some sort of response. So by not responding to them, by just kind of ignoring them, a lot of times I might like block them or hide them on the channel just so they can't keep on spreading negativity. Just doing that is, I think, the most appropriate response. Also because I don't want other people to see it and maybe get agitated or irritated and then respond to it, giving them the attention that they want. So I think I definitely have received negative hostile comments over the course of both the workout and the music video. But I mean, I usually just ignore them, just block them. That's it.
Does anyone have more questions? You can set it in the chat. In the meantime, Richard, do you want to add anything more about volunteering or like plans for the future in terms of volunteering in senior year or even college?
Volunteering. I definitely want to continue volunteering. Not maybe like even not just on the channel, but like expanding to helping more like hands-on in person as soon as this COVID thing is over, obviously. And yeah, I mean, like I definitely really enjoy it. The feeling of being able to help out is so satisfying and rewarding. And I actually just started not really started, but like I decided I was going to donate a lot of the the money that I received from Patreon for a YouTube series that I'm currently doing right now towards helping children in Yemen, because they're facing a humanitarian crisis there. And unfortunately, I was not aware of it until my friend brought it up on his Instagram story, and I asked him about it, found out more about what was going on there, and it was really, really serious. So for those of you guys who might not know, there's a humanitarian crisis going on in Yemen. Children are starving. They're displaced, and the COVID-19 crisis over there is also pretty major. So they're facing all of that at once, and millions of people are at risk, especially the children who are malnourished. So I decided to donate a large portion of the Patreon money that I received from my YouTube series towards SaveTheChildren.org, and also a portion of it went towards my friend's campaign, who introduced me to the situation. So I think I definitely see myself just continuing to do things like that. It makes me feel like I'm helping at least a little bit for these causes that are way out of my control. I think a lot of people are intimidated by these, large issues in the world, and they think that, I can't possibly contribute to solving this, because it's just way too big, it's out of my control. And it's, in the case of Yemen, it's all the way on the other side of the world. So, but just being able to contribute even just a little bit is helpful. Even if you obviously can't, you might not feel the impact immediately, but you're donating towards something that is meaningful. So I will definitely keep that mindset and keep on doing that in the future.
All right, thank you. There's a new question. Would you do more volunteering that promote Asian culture?
I do more volunteering that promotes Asian culture. Yeah, absolutely. I've done, again, the performances that I talked about. A lot of them were at festivals that celebrated Asian culture. There was one at the Kensico Dam, I think. I forgot what it's called, but there's a festival at the Kensico Dam, and that celebrates Asian culture. And I've performed there, I think a couple of times. And yeah, so I definitely will do that more in the future, because I think it's important. And obviously, being of Asian descent, I think it's important to be proud of my culture and promote it to more people.
Does anyone else have questions? Just feel free to type it in the chat. Or if you want to speak out, you can.
Hey, my name is Jie. I'm a parent of the new volunteer in the team. First of all, thank you, Richard. That's a great work you did. Because we're new, I do have a question saying, myself even, how do you overcome the cold feet feeling when you first go out to do volunteers, like being turned down, people paying no attention that as you wanted? Yeah, that's kind of a rookie type of question, but I would appreciate that you give some insight to the new volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. I just, again, when I first started volunteering, it wasn't as successful as I had hoped, and I feel like a lot of times that happens when you're just getting into volunteering. I think it's important. It's first and foremost important to make sure that you're volunteering towards something that will feel rewarding to you, and you want to make sure you're volunteering for a reputable cause. And when I first started volunteering and I didn't get the results that I wanted, I think it was really just assuring myself that I was not in any way in the wrong. I'm trying to help out towards something that I didn't have to do, but I feel like I should. And I just kind of, with that self-reassurance, I just kept on continuing. I didn't give up with volunteering. I came back to it. Sure, it can be a little bit discouraging because you are putting yourself out there when you're doing volunteering work. But I definitely feel like it's in the end, if you just keep on persisting, you will find an experience that is so rewarding that it makes all the previous attempts worth it. Yeah, I mean, you're not. I think it's in a way, it's a lot like the entertainment business, right? If you're like an actor, if you go out and looking for jobs, a lot of times you'll get turned down. A lot of times you won't get like a really big gig right away, but you just have to keep on pushing at it. And once you get that really, really big gig, that gig that changes your life, that makes all the previous effort worth it. And I think that really resonates with volunteering as well. And obviously, like the little steps that you take along the way will make you a better volunteer, just in general. So I think it's definitely, it will be worth it.
And also, to add on to Richard's point about the last question, for my branch, we have done a lot of like benefit performances that we hold that like are year-wide, and then so we do like a lot of planning, and then sometimes, yes, it is discouraging like when people do not like respond to it, but I think it's just like persistence, and such as for like a benefit performance, we like go around and then advertising it, and then so if it's for a reputable cause, as Richard said, like as long as your volunteers are like passionate about it, they shouldn't give up on it, even if they don't see a result at first. And then as time goes on and as you get your name out there in your community, I think it would become easier. And as you like connect with more people, like you could send mass emails to local organizations in your area asking for their support on your particular cause. And like in those mass emails, there's going to be a few that respond, but those few like are good connections that you can build, and then like they can help you later on in other events as well. So I think it's just like, don't give up, because you'll see results in the end. And yeah.
Yeah, I want to quickly mention something that I just thought of. I once saw a YouTube video where this guy, he was supposed to give a panel at a convention. I think it was a video game convention. He had this entire thing planned. He had a really nice presentation about something he was passionate about. But when he showed up to his panel, there was no one there. There was not a single person attending the panel. And I remember just seeing that video, and I just felt so bad for that guy. But the video kept on going. He ended up giving the entire presentation anyway to basically no one except, the few people that were with him. So, I mean, that was such a powerful video that I actually just thought of just now, because like it's more for volunteering. Like obviously, while it is about helping other people, it is also about just doing it as like a way to improve yourself, both as a volunteer and just as like a person. You want to contribute to your community. So volunteer work in itself has that quality. And I think it applies here. So even if there's no one in your audience when you're doing volunteer work or raising money, it's okay, because as long as you're there for it, as long as you're doing it, as long as you believe in it, it's powerful enough.
Very well said. Thank you. Yeah, that's the spirit. Actually, it's a life lesson.
If anyone has more questions, you can type in the group chat. Christine said, could you share a bit more about time management? I assume that's like high school and like volunteering and then etc. So
time management. Wow. I definitely would say time management is something that I've always struggled with. And a lot of it is because for stuff like volunteering, for stuff like putting out that music video, time, like I said, time is of the essence, but there is no real deadline. So it's tough, especially if you're procrastinating, right? So if you're a procrastinator like me, you'll just keep on putting it off until I'll do it tomorrow. But you just have to I found what really works is just setting a day where you're like, okay, I'm gonna use this day, I'm gonna record everything for the video, I'm gonna get it done, and that's that. So that's what I did for the music video. I got it done. I was so happy with myself afterward. And honestly, I think that's just how you have to do it. I didn't, because without a deadline, it's hard to push yourself to do it. So if you do it all in one go, that's how you're gonna get like stuff like this done. So I think that's how I manage my time for my campaigns, at least. And then how do you generate volunteering ideas? I would say, again, it goes back to what you like, what you're good at. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about music, performing, making videos. So I decided to incorporate that into my volunteer work. I didn't see a reason not to. So if I had the luxury of being able to do that, and so I went for it. And so I think to generate volunteering ideas, it's really just like thinking back on like what you enjoy, what you like to do. Like, say for example, if you cook at home, like if you really like cooking at home, like you can maybe try volunteering at like a soup kitchen. Like it really goes, like it really should be in line with what you already enjoy doing. I think that's how you generate new ideas.
To add on to that, so, for like AYLUS Branches, we have like activity posts on the website each day, and then they come from branches all over the country. And I think from there you can see what other branches are doing, and like learn from their experiences, because like AYLUS has been going on for a while, and then many branches have been doing like all sorts of events, ranging like from very small to like large year-wide events. It's important to like see in your community like who needs help. Maybe you're like walking in the park and you see like there's trash everywhere. You could arrange a time where a few volunteers, of course like social distancing, but like cleaning up your park. It may not like be a huge impact in your community, but I think that's still important.
Yeah, I mean, like stuff like cleaning up your park, it might not seem like, oh great, well we cleaned up this park, like but the next time someone comes to that park, sits down and looks at the park with no trash in it, and really has a nice time there, right?
And also for just volunteering ideas, like ranging from like performances, I think performances is actually like a great way to utilize your members' like talents and stuff, because there may be someone who likes to sing, someone who likes to play the guzheng or play the piano, and it's like you should like reach out to like senior centers in your area. It's also important to like maybe stay after for a bit there, because they may want someone to talk to. And like I think once you try to talk to them and try to like communicate and just like and perform, you can see that they're happy. They're like they want someone to like communicate with. Like I think it brings joy to yourself as well, just like connecting with people in your community and making their day better, even if that's like not the most significant thing ever, but from like these small things you can grow a lot.
Yeah, and if there are no other questions, I guess this is a really nice point to close out on. Is a lot of times people think of volunteering as like, oh, I have to start a campaign to raise money. Like, what if I can't do that? Like, what if it all has to be money based? Like, oh, I got to get to this certain amount, otherwise I'm not as good as this person. Or like a lot of times you're comparing yourself when you're volunteering, which is absurd to me. Now that I look back at it, when I was first starting out on YouTube, I didn't have ad revenue. That wasn't a thing on my channel. So for a good like year and a half, I was just making videos because I enjoyed it. I was making videos because my fans enjoyed it. And it was such a nice community. Like we talked every single day in the comment sections. I saw people like their feedback and just being able to connect with other people. Some kids even told me that they would come back home from school after a tough day and just watch my videos, which was so powerful to me. And they were like, thank you for making my day better. That kind of stuff really, is, now that I think about it, is technically volunteering, because I was putting in, obviously I didn't think about it as volunteering at the time, but now that I look back at it, I was putting in my time to spread joy to myself and other people. I think that's just at the core, that's what volunteering is. It's not about like necessarily raising money. Of course, raising money is fantastic, but like whenever you're doing something for someone else, just taking your time and doing something for someone else for a greater cause, that counts as volunteering work.
Well, thank you, Richard, for coming to our AYLUS virtual seminar, and thank you to everyone who came. And I think it was a great way to share your experiences with everyone. And so thank you again, and I hope everyone has a nice day, and we'll just end it here.
Thank you everyone for coming. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.